I'm very thankful to our chairman for leading this growing intergroup of Friends of the Free Iran in these years and for holding today's meeting. Being fully engaged for a free democratic Iran, I would like to remind the 1988 massacre in Iran, a crime that will not fade away with the time. The Iranian regime tried to hide this crime against humanity by threatening the families of the many thousand victims and by using mass graves with no names to bury the executed prisoners. The media was banned from saying a word, and there was no internet at that time. So this crime was kept in dark, not only to the people in the world, but also to many inside Iran, particularly the younger generation. But last year, after the important initiative of the Iranian resistance to launch a campaign to seek justice for the victims of 1988 massacre, more information about this atrocity came out of Iran, including a 45-minute audio tape which was recorded during the summer of 1988. And this astonishing evidence, which is called the Montaseri tape, shook the Iranian people, and now, 29 years after that crime, everyone in Iran knows about it. And many people are calling for those responsible to face justice. Unfortunately, the situation in Iran is that all those criminals, including some of the current top officials of the regime, are quite immune. And they are even proud to say that they took part in those executions. So they have impunity. This is what we have to change. And the only way is, of course, to change of this regime and replace it with a democratic system. That is why we have supported the PMOI and the movement under the leadership of Mrs. President Mariam Rajavi as the real alternative to replace this brutal religious dictatorship. But before that happens, we want United Nations to form an independent committee to investigate the 1988 massacre, and for the UN Secretary Council to forward this case to the International Criminal Court. Enough objective evidence is lying on the table. I also wish to express with some strong anger my disappointment of the attitude and the policy of Mrs. Mogherini and the EU external services. You may have heard about her recent visit to Tehran to take part in the inauguration of Rouhani, which I understood as fully dispensable. In that visit on 5th of August, she was accompanied by, among others, by Zimbabwe's dictator, Robert Mugabe, and North Korea's number 2 of dictatorship, Kim Jong-nam. Her visit became a special scandal as she took part in taking selfies with a group of men who were members of the Iranian regime's parliament in a country where women have no real role. And there is not even one woman as a minister in Rouhani's new cabinet. This is very embarrassing that our EU's top foreign chief keeps defending this theocracy. We as elected representatives of the European people should be role model for our governments in defending democracy. We insist that human rights is not an issue to be compromised and call on EU and the member states to hold the Iranian regime accountable for its human rights violations. And this needs, instead of selfies, a proactive political role and measurements on EU level. Now, thank you.